Real talk. Somebody's going to teach your daughter what to accept from a man. The only question is whether it's going to be you or the guy who breaks her heart. Family, I've been married almost 29 years, and today I'm going to share 4 conversations that you must have with your daughter, bonus daughter, granddaughter, before you ever let a man put a ring on the finger. Now, I'm going to give forewarning that number 3 is the one that'll sting a little bit because most of us as dads, we broke that rule ourselves. But before we get there, I need to tell you about a wedding I sat through some years ago. It was a massive, beautiful wedding. Flowers everywhere, orchestra, nice. But half the people in the room I found out, including the people who loved the bride, had quiet concerns, heavy concerns, and nobody said anything out loud. They just whispered about it. And afterward, everyone gave the polite excuse, well, she was beautiful and she looked happy. But family, less than a year later, and I was told this, her brother was driving her to sit across from a divorce lawyer. And when someone finally asked her what went wrong, she said something that I was like, wow. She said, nobody ever told me I was allowed to wait. Now, that wasn't her failure, fellas. That was ours. That's the fathers who stayed polite instead of being protective. But let's try to fix that today with these 4 conversations. So stick with me and let's get into them. All right, we're going to start out with conversation number 1. Conversation number 1, and this is one thing that you need to say with your whole chest. Straight no chaser. Do not settle ever. Here's the trap, Dad. Settling doesn't look like giving up. It looks like going along. All of the friends are getting married. The invitations are coming in the mail and they're piling up and the family start asking, so when is it your turn? Then a guy comes along, fine brother, he wants her. She's not completely sure, but he wants me is what she feels. And she starts to feel like that's enough. So, hear me on this. Being wanted is not the same as being right. Tell her she can settle on a car. She can settle on a pair of shoes and a dress. She can trade those things in, give them back, give them the goodwill. But you do not settle on a person who will dictate your peace, your finances, your faith, and whether you wake up 50 years from now with joy or profound regret. And if you've never explicitly told your daughter that she's allowed to be alone, it's okay to do that. And I understand the biological clock, but let that conversation be the one to make the choice versus the biological clock and making a wrong decision. All right. Conversation number 2. Don't become someone else just to be loved by someone else. You know, I've had conversations with my girls as well as with my bonus daughters and all that, and even people who've gone through divorce, and there's a specific regret that comes up word for word every time. I pretended, I shrunk myself, I hid my opinion, I played a role until I got the ring. Then I went looking for the real me, and the marriage couldn't survive who I actually was. And that came from folks who were married. Now think about that. The marriage couldn't survive the truth of who that person was. But I want to be clear. Let me be clear that, growth is in a marriage is real. My wife, Sheila, and I, we have changed immensely since in our 29 years, but there's a massive difference between growing for someone and performing for someone. Growth makes you more of who you are, and performing makes you disappear. So tell your daughter, have a voice, use it early. Use it on the first date, the second date, not the second anniversary. Let your voice be heard. And if he decides to walk away, he's not rejecting her. He's revealing himself. And he just saved her 30 years of misery. Got it? All right. Let's see. Conversation number 3. Conversation number 3. Now, number 3. This is the one that I kind of warned about at the beginning. And I want you to write this down, or better yet, write it down and give it to baby girl. Red flags in the beginning become billboards in the marriage. Whatever she sees 3 months in, the temper, the secrets, the how he treats his mother, how he treats the waitress, how he handles money, how he reacts to losing, how he gets upset. That's the movie trailer. Marriage doesn't shrink a man's problems. Marriage puts a spotlight on them and hands him a microphone or a megaphone. And here's where it stings for us as dads, because we are sitting here now remembering the flags that we carried into our own marriage, the baggage that our wives had to tolerate. Look, some of us got lucky. I got lucky. We had women who held us accountable and who choose to do the work. But hear me clearly. Our wives did not fix us. We changed because we decided to. And your daughter needs to understand that. Because every movie, every love song sells our girls on the same lie. My love will heal him. No, it won't. Your love is powerful, but it's not a renovation crew. She cannot love a man out of his baggage. He has to carry his own baggage and deal with it. Got it? So dads, let's have a moment of transparency and honesty in the comment section below. I want you to write a red flag that you carried that you had to fix. Just drop it below and let's show the younger generation reading these comments that we had to deal with this as well, and show them what accountability looks like. And tell your daughters that the standard is simple. Love the man in front of you today without upgrades, no future potential, and no once we're married clauses. If she can't live with it now, she won't be able to live with it when it's louder. You got me on that? All right, so this is the last one. And this is the one that ruffles feathers a little bit. For 29 years of marriage in relation to a 30-some years of relationship, I feel like I got a little equity. I can say this. Don't let her fall into roles by default. Roles should be chosen and not inherited. If she and her husband sit down and decide that she wants to stay home with the kids while he provides, that's their business. If they both decide that they want to build careers and split the domestic load, that's their business. The problem is never the arrangement. The problem is when nobody chooses. When a woman silently shelves or put away her independence and her earning power just because that's how his granddad and his parents did it. She risks being trapped in a life that happens later, whether it's divorce or layoff or some kind of tragedy. And then she's stuck in a trap. But we can flip this too, because this lands on us too as men. A man who can't parent or run a home without his wife directing him isn't a partner. He's a dependent. And our sons, grandsons, and nephews, they need to know how to manage a home. Not just help out, but how to manage a home. Two capable people sharing the whole life together. That's not modern nonsense. That's even wisdom. Even scripture paints the proverbial Proverbs 31 woman as an entrepreneur who earns, manages, and builds. And get this, her husband, he's not threatened by her. Matter of fact, it says he praises her in the gate. You got me? So now let me land this plane. Maybe your daughter is 10, 11, 12, 13. That's good. Start the framework now. Maybe she's 26, dating a guy with flags that you and your wife can see a mile away. And you've been staying polite because you're afraid of pushing her away. And that is real. That is real. That's reality. And I felt that. The silence can be a vote of approval. But every day that you don't have these conversations, and she is learning what to accept from social media, television, or from the heartbreak that could happen. So here's your assignment this week. And look, no, don't worry about liking or subscribing right now. This is not about that. Just pick one of these 4 conversations, the one that she needs the most. And don't lecture her, but ask her what she thinks. Then tell her what the years have taught you. Share your experience as much as you can. Before I go, I do want you to hit that share button and send it to a father or another brother who may may need to see this. And also, I want you to include also in the comments, just which one of these conversations is the hardest one for you? Got me? So remember when we started, I said that someone is going to teach your daughter what to accept from a man. Make sure it's you. I'm Frank. This has been a soulful conversation. Now go have one with baby girl.